How's it going, guys? Vaibhav here from GN Tech, and welcome to a camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Note10 Plus and the Huawei P30 Pro. I'm recording this on the front-facing cameras on both of these smartphones at 4K resolution on the Galaxy Note10 Plus, whereas it's 1080p resolution on the Huawei P30 Pro, the highest that it is capable from the front-facing camera. So these samples will not only give you a better understanding of both cameras' dynamic range, stabilization, but also how these manage to capture my voice from the microphones on these smartphones. So holistically, you'll be able to judge whether or not these phones will be suitable companions for vlogging or not. But with that being said, I'm going to move into the primary camera photo and video samples now, because with that, you'll get an overall understanding of how both of these cameras stand as a whole in different scenarios when taking photos and videos. So both the Samsung Galaxy Note10 Plus and the Huawei P30 Pro have quad primary cameras, even though they're differently spec'd and offer varying features. Over on the front, there's the singular selfie camera, but we wanted to test how both of these phones fared in different day-to-day conditions when taking photos and videos. We'll start with this image where at face value it's pretty simple. The color profiles from both phones are different, with the Note10 Plus swaying slightly towards the warmer side. If you notice the darker areas of the picture, the Note10 Plus is doing a better job here. With the scene optimizer mode on the Samsung and the AI mode on the Huawei, this is how the picture transforms. The main change for both phones comes in the saturation levels of the sky, but if you look closer, you'll notice that with this, the Note10 Plus still has the sharper looking photo overall. Now here's a look at the second picture. While the dynamic range is much better on the Note10 Plus, going by the pink hues of the sunset, the colors from the shrubs look way more natural from the P30 Pro. The Note10 Plus has starkly overexposed the shrubs, which makes for a pretty average looking photo. Again, scene optimizer and AI respectively changes how the photos look. While the shrubs are toned down on the Note10 Plus, for the Huawei they're enhanced. Neither phone gets the mood of the scene perfect here, and in an ideal case, the pink hues from the Note10 Plus and the greens from the Huawei in combination would make the best case for this photo. I took this photo to really showcase each camera's sharpness. Again, Huawei goes for a much cooler look, and the photo from it has more detail, especially towards the top of the Burj Khalifa. This was the perfect opportunity for me to test the wide-angle lens on both phones, where the results are very different. It seems like the Note10 Plus saturates the image a lot, going by the greens and blues, whereas the P30 Pro has the warmer looking tones. To be honest, I'd say the saturated image is visually better looking, but the Huawei wins here based on color accuracy because it paints a better picture of the mood. Now it's time to test the zooming capabilities on both of these phones, where it's very different in each case. At this one-time standard zoom, you can clearly see the Note10 Plus doing a better job with detailing. This is the result at 2x zoom, where again I prefer the Note10 Plus, not just because of its details, but also because of the colors it captures. At 3x zoom, it's pretty much the same story, with the Note10 Plus still on top. But at 5x zoom, Huawei's superior zoom capabilities come into play. Definitely the detail from it is impressive, but the color accuracy is still with the Note10 Plus. Going all the way at 10x zoom, you can see how much better the P30 Pro's image is with detail compared to a loss of detail on the Note10 Plus's image sample. In fact, the P30 Pro is capable of zooming in up to 50 times, which is just incredible. Moving over to portrait samples, here's how they look. Now, the Note10 Plus defaults to its telephoto lens here, which has a zoomed in effect, but if you compare both phones' images, the Note10 Plus is swaying a bit towards the natural side, especially judging by my facial tones. Of course, the Note10 Plus does have a wide-angle mode too, but by using this, sharpness does take a toll. In this case, the P30 Pro's sample captures the image with much better sharpness, and while the colors are a bit off, judging this one would actually come down to personal preference. If I was to look at the edge detection on both of these samples, I'd give it to the P30 Pro just because it has less obvious looking flaws. As for portrait photos with objects, the winner is more obvious. Here the P30 Pro struggles quite a fair bit compared to the Note10 Plus, and using the wide-angle lens, I'm not too impressed by the Note10 Plus's edge detection. I think the Huawei has impressive edge detection overall, but can't bring about the details in the subject, making it look too dark, and I think here maybe a few more software optimizations would fix this issue. Let's now move to selfies, where the Note 10 Plus definitely brightens up the image and introduces some purple tones. On the contrary, the P30 Pro has the natural colors, although if you look at detailing, the Note 10 Plus's sample is definitely better. With the wide-angle mode on the Note 10 Plus, the field of view is the same as the P30 Pro's default view, and in terms of image quality, it's pretty much the same difference as before. Using the portrait selfie feature, it's again that sharpness from the Samsung is better, but the overall tones are more natural from the Huawei, whether it's using the normal or wide-angle mode. With that, we can move to nighttime images. In this example, both phones do some things right and some wrong. The Note 10 Plus seems to have more noise in the picture, but if you look at the plant on the right, it's better detailed on the Note 10 Plus compared to the P30 Pro. With night mode, there's a huge enhancement in both photos, but I think the colors and overall detailing in the picture looks better from the Huawei. Here's an example of a photo in pitch black where both phones do incredibly well. The Note 10 Plus handles the background lighting better and the colors of the shed, but in terms of detailing, the P30 Pro has the edge, especially if you look at the roof. With the night mode enabled here, have a look at how much more detail the P30 Pro is able to capture, not only outside but also from the tiling inside. Compared to this, the Note 10 Plus is a bit less impressive. This example is one in more of direct light, and because of how the Note 10 Plus handles detail in the lantern, it looks better. I would still say the Huawei has more sharpness, and if you look at the night mode enhancement here, while the detail and sharpness is incredible from the Huawei, I'd say the colors are better looking from the Note 10 Plus. Here, I prefer how the Note 10 Plus processes colors, but there's a bit of a sway from them being completely natural and true to life. However, in terms of detail, sharpness and noise levels, the P30 Pro is just incredibly difficult to beat. These are the samples with night mode enabled, and I think it becomes more of a level playing field, and it's harder to distinguish the two images. Where the Huawei does struggle detail-wise is the wide-angle lens, but so does the Note 10 Plus to a lesser extent. Now, even though detail is lost from the P30 Pro, there's still much less visible noise in the overall photo in this case. Enabling night mode here improves both images drastically, but the Note 10 Plus image seems to be a bit sharper and seems to be taking in the colors of the streets around for this reddish hue to the overall picture, which I don't know if I like, to be honest. Over to selfies, it looks to me like the Huawei is doing the better job. There is a night mode on the selfie camera on the Note 10 Plus, but I really don't like how it processes colors. In fact, there's also a night mode selfie option for Huawei phones available, but it's only out for Chinese variants of the phone at the time of making this video, so I couldn't test it out. You can use the wide-angle lens at night to capture a bit more of the surrounding areas and use night mode with it too, but I just think the P30 Pro's selfie quality is better. Even when using portrait mode, the P30 Pro has the better result in my opinion, but the blurring effect does look nicer on the Note 10 Plus. Quality-wise, I think the P30 Pro takes it. With the photos out of the way, let's take a look at video quality. This is 1080p footage or Full HD footage from both phones, where the quality of the Note 10 Plus is better, no doubt. But I like the way how Huawei is capturing the colors of the scene with better dynamic range. Stabilization though seems to be about the same. When running, again, the stabilization is about the same and neither is doing a phenomenal job, but I just have a preference towards the colors from the Huawei. Footage from the wide-angle lens on both is sharper from the Note 10 Plus, and in terms of colors, both samples are equally placed. Because of the sharper Note 10 Plus sample, running footage looks a lot better from it, but in terms of stabilization, both phones are on par. The Note 10 Plus does have a super steady video mode though, and here it shows how much more stable the Note 10 Plus footage is. 4K footage from the Note 10 Plus is sharper looking overall, and when it comes to stability of the footage, I'd say the Note 10 Plus is again the winner. With both phones' wide-angle lens, I prefer the sharpness and stability shown on the Note 10 Plus, both when walking and when running, where the Note 10 Plus remains smoother. Because there's a 4K 60fps option on the Note 10 Plus, I thought I'd compare it to Huawei's 4K 30fps one just for completion. At nighttime, quality takes a big drop with both 1080p video samples, and to be honest, it's hard to distinguish one from the other. Each phone's wide-angle lenses are also nothing impressive. While stabilization doesn't really change based on the time of day, I wanted to try and see if the Note 10 Plus made a huge difference when using the super steady mode at night, and to be honest, there's no significant improvement both when using the standard or the wide-angle lens. I'm testing the 4K video quality at night here, and it looks to me that neither phone is significantly better, and if you really nitpick, maybe you could say the Huawei is a bit better. Even when using the wide-angle lens, I think the quality has room to grow, especially with these phones commanding flagship level prices. But that's about it for this in-depth look. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and hopefully you found this video useful. This was Vaibhav and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.